Alright, picture this. You're digging through your old piggy bank, looking for some spare change to buy a coffee, and boom, you find a quarter. Not just any quarter, but a 1976 No Ellis Island, Washington quarter. You think, meh, it's just a quarter. But guess what? That little piece of metal could be worth a life-changing $6 million. Yep, that's 6 with 6 zeros. Now, before you start flipping over every quarter in your house, stick with me because I'm going to tell you exactly what makes this coin so special, how to know if you have one, and most importantly, how you can turn a simple pocket find into a fortune. Let's get into it. So, what's the deal with the 1976 No Ellis Island, Washington quarter? First off, if you're thinking, wait a minute, 1976 quarters are bicentennial coins. They have the drummer boy on the back. You'd be absolutely right. Most 1976 quarters were minted with that special design to celebrate America's 200th birthday. But here's where things get crazy. A very rare batch of 1976 quarters was minted without Ellis Island on the reverse design. It's like the US Mint straight up forgot about one of the most iconic landmarks in American history. Oops. This rare error makes the coin not just unique but insanely valuable. And when I say valuable, I mean $6 million valuable. Imagine walking into a coin shop and the guy behind the counter faints because you just casually dropped a small fortune on his desk. That could be you. Now, how do you know if you have this magic quarter? Check the date, it should say 1976. If it says 1776 to 1976, you're still in the game, but you need more than just the right year. Look at the reverse. Instead of the usual drummer boy, yours should have the standard Washington quarter eagle but missing Ellis Island in the background. Mint mark matters. Most of these rare ones don't have a mint mark, meaning they were minted in Philadelphia. Weight check. A genuine one weighs around 5.67 grams if it's copper nickel and about 6.25 grams if it's silver-clad. Now, here's a quick story. A few months ago, my friend Tom, who knows next to nothing about coins, calls me up all excited. He says, "Dude, I think I found that $6 million quarter." I rush over to his place, and he's holding it like he's Indiana Jones about to put it in a museum. We check it under a magnifier and... nope. It was just a regular bicentennial quarter. He was crushed. I told him, hey, at least it's still worth 25 cents. And he just stared at me like I ruined his dreams. Moral of the story? Always double-check before you start planning your retirement. So, now you know one little coin could be the difference between you and early retirement. If you've got a 1976 quarter lying around, check it now. If it's missing Ellis Island, you just hit the jackpot. And if not, don't worry. There are tons of other valuable coins out there waiting to be discovered. If you love learning about rare and valuable coins, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I drop new videos every week on hidden treasures you might have in your pocket. Also, hit that like button and comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or just want to say hi. Alright, happy hunting, and may your pocket change make you a millionaire.
I've got a coin that might just make you a small fortune if you're holding on to the right one. And no, I'm not talking about a gold coin you found in your cereal box. I'm talking about the 2016 P. Ellis Island, Washington quarter dollar. Sounds familiar, right? Well, buckle up, because I'm about to tell you why this little coin is currently going for a jaw-dropping $6 million. Yes, you heard that right, $6 million. What makes the 2016 P. Ellis Island, Washington quarter so special? Well, it all starts with its design. In 2016, the U.S. Mint released a series of quarters honoring national parks and historic sites, and Ellis Island, well, it's kind of a big deal. If you've never heard of it, it's that place where millions of immigrants first set foot in the United States. The quarter has a beautiful design showing the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island with an inscription, Ellis Island. Simple, right? But here's the kicker. The P mint mark on the coin means it was produced in Philadelphia. And guess what? Not every 2016 P. Ellis Island quarter is worth a small fortune. That would be too easy. No, the coin we're looking for is the one that has a minting error. You know how sometimes things just don't go as planned? Well, in this case, the minting process didn't exactly stick to the script. And some of these quarters ended up with a big mistake that makes them worth more than my rent. They were struck with either a double die or a minting error that makes the design pop off the coin a little too dramatically. And that's what collectors are going crazy over. How do you even find one of these magical $6 million quarters? It's like looking for a needle in a haystack. But hey, if you're anything like me, you've probably gone through your coin jar a million times, hoping to find something rare. And trust me, I've been there. Let me tell you a little story. A few years back, I was rummaging through a jar of coins I had collected from the bottom of my couch cushions. Don't act like you haven't done it. Anyway, I found a few coins I thought could be valuable. Spoiler alert, they weren't. But while I was on the hunt, I did find one thing that had a little extra shine. Turned out it was a 1943 steel penny, which was worth a decent chunk of change. Not quite $6 million, but it still made me feel like a treasure hunter. So, moral of the story, don't toss out those random quarters or pennies. You never know when one could be hiding its true value. But be warned, those rare finds, they're harder to come by than your favorite pair of socks after laundry day, so there you have it. If you happen to stumble upon a 2016 P. Ellis Island, Washington quarter with that magical minting error, you could be looking at a cool $6 million. But like I said, don't expect to find one every time you reach into your coin jar. Unless, of course, you're lucky, and hey, I wouldn't be mad at that. Before you go and start flipping through your change, here's the deal. If you want more tips, tricks, and insider info on coins that could be hiding a fortune, hit that subscribe button. Don't miss out on the chance to become a coin expert. Who knows, your next find could be worth more than your car. And if you like this video, throw a thumbs up my way. Trust me, I'm as excited as you are about finding treasure, and I'll keep the tips coming. We're talking about the 2015 D. Ellis Island, Washington $quarter. Yes, that quarter, the one that might just make you a millionaire. Imagine walking into your kitchen, grabbing your usual snack, and then noticing something shiny in your coin jar. You pick it up, give it a quick glance, and boom, you've got a $5 million coin on your hands. Sounds too good to be true, right? But trust me, this could be your lucky day. Stick around, and I'll break down what makes this coin so valuable and how you can cash in on it. Alright, let's dive in. The 2015 D. Ellis Island quarter is part of the America the Beautiful series, which honors national parks and monuments. This particular one, featuring the iconic Ellis Island in New York Harbor, is unique because it was issued to commemorate the immigrant experience. Pretty powerful stuff, right? Now, here's where it gets interesting. Most of us are familiar with the classic Washington quarter that's been around for ages. But the 2015 D. Ellis Island quarter has some distinct features that make it stand out in the coin world. The design features the Statue of Liberty on the reverse side with the words E Pluribus Unum above it. The obverse shows George Washington, as usual, but with that particular mint mark. The D that's key to its worth. Here's where the value comes into play. You'd think this coin is just another piece of change, but some people have paid serious money for a well-preserved specimen. While most Ellis Island quarters are worth face value, just 25 cents of course, certain rare versions have sold for as much as $5 million. Yes, you heard me right. $5 million for a quarter. This happens when the coin is in pristine condition, meaning it's got zero wear, no scratches, no discoloration, and a good strike. You need to find one of these in near mint condition if you want to cash in BIG.SO. How do you know if your quarter is worth millions? Well, first you want to check the mint mark. If it's a 2015 D coin, you're halfway there. Then you'll need to inspect the condition. If you've got a coin that's been sitting in a jar for years, well, let's just say you might want to hold on to your dreams of millions. But if it looks almost brand new with that shine and crisp design, you might just have a gem on your hands. But here's the kicker. There are only a handful of these coins in mint condition. So, don't go running to eBay and expecting to find $1 million coin just lying around. But hey, it's worth checking. Now, let me share a personal story. A few years ago, I was going through my old change jar, as we all do when we're feeling a little lazy. I found a 1980s quarter, and I thought, hey, this looks kinda shiny. Maybe it's special. Turns out it wasn't, but I had a great time pretending it could be the next big thing. So, moral of the story, sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't, but always check your coins before spending them. So there you have it, your complete rundown on the 2015 D. Ellis Island, Washington $quarter. Remember, you're not just looking for any old quarter here. Folks, you need one in great condition and with the right mint mark. Keep your eyes peeled, because you never know, that next piece of change you find could make you a millionaire. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin values and want to keep your eyes on more coins worth money, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm here every week with more tips, tricks, and fun facts that might just help you find the next treasure hiding in your wallet. Thanks for watching, and happy coin hunting. Catch you in the next one. Who knows, maybe we'll be talking about your $5 million coin. Alright, folks, picture this. You're digging through your spare change, maybe looking for a vending machine snack, and bam! You spot a 2014 P. Ellis Island, Washington quarter. First, you shrug. Just another quarter, right? Wrong. What if I told you this little piece of metal could be worth a jaw-dropping $4 million? Yep, you heard me right. So stick around because today, we're diving into this rare, mind-blowing coin, why it's worth so much, and how you might just have one sitting in your pocket. Let's start with the basics. The 2014 P. Ellis Island quarter was minted as part of the America the Beautiful series, honoring the famous immigration station that welcomed millions of people to the U.S. Now, most of these quarters, worth, well, 25 cents. But there's a special one, a unicorn of coins, that collectors would give their right arm for .so. What makes this particular quarter so valuable? A rare minting error. This isn't just your everyday misprint. It's a once-in-a-lifetime mistake where the coin was struck on a planchet mint for another denomination. In simple terms, the U.S. Mint goofed up big time, and instead of tossing these mistakes, a few escaped into the wild. One of these bad boys was recently sold at auction for $4 million. Imagine the look on that person's face when they realized they weren't just holding a snack fund but an early retirement plan. Now let's talk spotting one. If you have a 2014 P. Ellis Island quarter, check for the following. A misaligned or doubled image A, weirdly thick or thin edge A, strange coloration or metal composition, but here's the catch. This isn't just about having the quarter. It has to be the quarter with the exact minting error that makes collectors go nuts. So, before you start planning your private island purchase, you'll need a professional coin expert to verify it. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A friend of mine, let's call him Dave, used to make fun of my coin collecting hobby. He'd say, "Why are you staring at pennies when you could be making real money?" Well, guess what? One day, Dave found an odd-looking quarter in his old jacket pocket. He sent me a picture and my jaw dropped. Long story short, Dave is now sitting on a small fortune, and I'm still here making YouTube videos. Moral of the story? Never underestimate your pocket change. So what did we learn today? That sometimes the most valuable things are hiding in plain sight. That coin collecting isn't just for history buffs. It's for people who like money. And most importantly, that you should never, ever assume your spare change is just spare change. Now, here's what I want you to do. Go check your coins. Seriously, right now. And if you find something unusual, let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more tips on finding hidden treasures in your pocket. Who knows? The next millionaire coin hunter could be you. We're talking about a quarter that could be worth more than your house, your car, and probably your entire neighborhood combined. That's right, the 2006 P. Ellis Island, Washington quarter dollar. A coin that looks just like the rest, but has one secret that makes it worth a staggering $6 million in today's market. So, if you've ever fished a quarter out of your couch cushions, or found one at the bottom of your purse, you might want to take a second look. This one could literally change your life. Make sure to stick around to the end because I'm going to share how to spot one, why it's so valuable, and what you should do if you're lucky enough to have one. Plus, I've got a wild story about a guy who almost spent one of these at a vending machine. You don't want to miss this. First things first, what makes this quarter so special? Well, the 2006 P. Ellis Island, Washington quarter dollar was part of the state quarters program, celebrating different U.S. landmarks. The thing is, most of these are worth, well, exactly 25 cents, but a rare few have an error so mind-blowing that collectors are willing to fork over millions. Here's the deal. This specific quarter has a minting error that was completely unintentional. It was struck on a solid gold planchet by mistake. Yeah, you heard that right. Somebody at the U.S. Mint had one job and somehow mixed up regular quarter blanks with gold ones. Oops. Only a handful of these exist, and they were accidentally released into circulation before anyone noticed. That means there's a very small chance one of these is sitting in a coin jar somewhere, or worse, already spent on a parking meter. Now, let me tell you about Jimmy, a guy I met at a coin show last year. Jimmy had been collecting quarters for years, totally convinced he'd never find anything valuable. One day, he was digging through his change, saw a shiny 2006 quarter, and almost tossed it in a Coinstar machine. But at the last second, he decided to weigh it, and boom, it was way heavier than a normal quarter. Long story short, he sent it in for authentication, and it turned out to be one of the legendary Gold Strike errors. Guess what? He sold it at auction for $5.8 million. Moral of the story: always check your spare change before dumping it into a vending machine. So, how can you tell if you have one of these golden tickets? Golden quarters? Check the weight. A regular quarter weighs 5.67 grams, but this one, way heavier. If your scale says something wild like 6.3 or more grams, you might have a winner. Look at the edge. Normal quarters have a copper core visible on the sides. If yours looks solid gold with no copper showing, jackpot. Magnify the details. Some of these error quarters have slightly misaligned designs because they weren't meant to be struck on gold. If Washington's face looks slightly off-center, you're onto something. If you think you've got one, do not clean it. I repeat, do not clean it. Cleaning coins actually lowers their value. Instead, get it checked by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Alright, so let's recap. The 2006 P. Ellis Island Washington quarter dollar is potentially worth $6 million because of a rare minting error. It's heavier than normal, has a solid gold appearance, and might look a little off center. So, next time you're digging for a quarter to feed the meter or buy some gum, double check before you spend it. Could be the best financial decision you ever make. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about hidden treasures hiding in your loose change, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. I'll be dropping more tips, crazy stories, and strategies to help you find coins worth serious cash. Now, go check your change jar. Your next fortune could be sitting in there right now. We're going to break down exactly why this little piece of metal could change your life. So grab your coin jar, because by the end of this video, you might just become a millionaire. 1. What makes this coin so special? First things first, what's the big deal with the 2002 D. Ellis Island quarter? It was minted in Denver and released as part of the 50-state quarters program. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but how does that make it worth millions? Well, not all 2002 D quarters are valuable. The one we're talking about has some rare errors that make collectors go absolutely bananas. We're talking about double die obverse, off-center strikes, and even an ultra-rare misprint where part of the lettering is missing. If you're not checking your quarters carefully, you could be spending a literal fortune on a vending machine snack. 2. How do you know if you have one? Here's what to look for when you're checking your change. A noticeable doubling in the words Liberty or United States of America, the Denver mint mark, a little D below IN God We Trust, an off-center design, like if Washington looks like he's trying to escape the coin. Any unusual texture or missing details. If you see any of these, it's time to stop everything and get that quarter checked by a professional. 3. How much is it really worth? Now, here's where it gets wild. A rare version of this coin recently sold for a mind-blowing $2 million. That's right, some lucky collector turned a regular 25-cent piece into a life-changing payday. Now, before you start planning your mansion and sports car collection, let's be real. Most of these quarters won't be worth millions, but even lower-grade versions can still sell for hundreds or thousands of dollars, which is still way better than 25 cents. 4. Personal story. Let me tell you about the time I almost threw away a valuable coin. A few years back, I was cleaning out my car and found a weird-looking quarter in the cup holder. I thought, just another quarter, and nearly spent it on a gas station soda, but something told me to hold on to it. Turns out, it was a rare error coin worth $500. Moral of the story? Always check your change. You never know what kind of treasure you might be holding. So, next time you get a handful of change, don't just shove it in your pocket. Take a second, look closely. You might be sitting on a gold mine in disguise. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video about coins worth money. Got a cool coin story? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear it. We're talking about the 2001 D. Ellis Island Washington quarter dollar. A coin that's selling for a jaw-dropping $2 million in today's market. Yep, you heard that right. Now, before you run to check your piggy bank, stick around because I'm going to tell you exactly what makes this quarter so valuable, what to look for, and how you might just hit the coin collector's jackpot. Plus, I'll share a hilarious story about how I almost spent a rare coin on a vending machine snack. Yeah, big mistake. Alright, let's dive in one. Why is this quarter worth $2 million? Okay, so first things first. Why is this little piece of metal worth more than a mansion? The 2001 D. Ellis Island, Washington quarter is part of the State Quarter series, minted in Denver. But not all of them are worth millions, only a few with rare errors or unique characteristics. Some of these high-value features include minting errors, some have off-center strikes, double dies, or missing clad layers, which makes them super rare. Low population and high grade are perfect. Untouched coin graded MS69 or MS70 by PCGS or NGC is practically unheard of, making it a collector's dream. Unique history coins tied to significant historical landmarks, like Ellis Island, often attract more attention from serious collectors. Point 2. How to spot one in your pocket change. So, how do you know if you have a multi-million-dollar quarter just lying around? Here's what to look for. Check for the 2001 D-Mint mark right under George Washington's ponytail. Look for any errors, like missing ridges, doubled images, or unusual coloring if it looks brand new, like it was never even touched. It might be worth getting graded if you find one. Do not just toss it in a coin jar. That's how I almost lost a rare coin once. True story. I had a valuable bicentennial quarter, but I was in a hurry, and guess what? I used it to buy a bag of chips. Yeah. Worst decision ever. The chips weren't even that good. Point 3. What to do if you have one. So let's say you find one. Congrats. Here's what to do next. Don't clean it. Seriously, coin collectors hate cleaned coins. Just leave it as is. Get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Auction it. If you've got the real deal, collectors will be lining up with big cash offers. Alright, so now you know this unassuming little quarter could be worth life-changing money. Check your pockets, your car, and that jar of coins on your dresser. You never know what you might find. And hey, if you love learning about coins worth serious money, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got tons of coin hunting tips that could help you make a fortune, 1 penny at a time. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you've ever accidentally spent one, like me. Let's all cry together. I've got a wild one for you. Imagine digging through your old coin jar, expecting to find a couple of quarters for the vending machine, and bam, you've just laid eyes on a 2000 D. Ellis Island, Washington quarter worth, wait for it, $4 million. Yeah, you heard that right, $4 million. This isn't just another, maybe it's rare situation. This is the holy grail of modern quarters. Stick around because I'm going to tell you exactly what makes this coin so special, how to spot it, and why someone is willing to throw down a small fortune to get their hands on one. And trust me, you're going to want to check your couch cushions after this video. Body. Alright, let's break this down. The 2000 D. Ellis Island, Washington quarter was part of the State Quarter series. Minted in Denver, and generally, these coins aren't anything to write home about. I mean, most of them are worth, well, 25 cents. But here's where it gets interesting. There is a very special variety of this quarter that has a rare minting error. This particular coin was struck on a 90% silver planchet instead of the usual copper-nickel clad. That means it's got a unique composition that makes it stand out under close inspection. Some experts believe it was a mistake at the mint, while others think it was a secret test run. Either way, collectors have gone absolutely bonkers over it. Now, why is it worth $4 million? Well, when it comes to rare coins, a few things drive up the value. Rarity, demand, and condition. Only a handful of these silver-struck Ellis Island quarters have ever surfaced, and when one showed up in near-perfect condition, graded MS68, it set the numismatic world on fire. Let me put this in perspective. If you had this quarter and you casually spent it on a pack of gum, congratulations, you just chewed away a life-changing fortune. That's worse than losing your lotto ticket in the washing machine. Speaking of which, I actually have a funny story about a near miss. A few years ago, I was at a flea market, casually flipping through a guy's coin box. I saw a 2000 D quarter that looked a little different, but I figured, probably just a regular one, and I passed on it for a $5 mystery bag instead. You know what was inside? A broken watch and a keychain that said, I heart Grandma. Yeah, I still lose sleep over that 1.0. How do you know if you have the $1 million version? First, check for the Denver mint mark. There should be a small D under Washington's ponytail. Next, if the coin has a brighter, silver-like appearance and lacks the usual copper core on the edge, you just might have a jackpot in your hands. To be 100% sure, you'll need to weigh it. A regular quarter weighs about 5.67 grams, but the silver one comes in at around 6.25 grams. If yours matches up, get it authenticated ASAP. Alright folks, there you have it, the 2000 D Ellis Island quarter that could change your life. Now, I know what you're thinking. Where do I start looking? Easy. Go through your old change, check those forgotten piggy banks, and maybe even ask Grandma if she's got a jar of quarters she hasn't touched since Y2K'd it. And hey, if you don't find one, don't worry. There are plenty of valuable coins out there, and I'm here to help you spot them. So, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, smash the like button like you just found $1 million coin, and drop a comment below if you've ever had a crazy coin find. We're talking about the 1999 D. Ellis Island Washington $quarter. A coin so rare and valuable it could literally change your life. So, before you spend that quarter on a gumball machine, stick around because you might just have the retirement plan jingling in your pocket. Now let's dive into what makes the 1999 D. Ellis Island quarter such a big deal. First off, you might be thinking, wait a minute, I thought the 1999 quarters were all about the State Series. You're absolutely right. But here's the twist. There's a rare era variety of the 1999 D. Washington quarter featuring Ellis Island that was never supposed to exist. The U.S. Mint made a very small number of these coins with a design mix-up. Instead of featuring a state design like it was supposed to, this quarter somehow ended up with an Ellis Island reverse, something that should only be on the New Jersey quarter. This minting mishap has turned it into one of the most valuable era coins in existence. Now, let's talk cold, hard cash. The highest recorded sale for this coin, a jaw-dropping $9 million. Yes, you heard that right. $9 million for a single 25-cent piece. That's like buying a mega mansion with a coin you found under your couch cushions. So, how do you know if you have one? Well, grab a magnifying glass and start checking your quarters. Here's what to look for. A 1999 D mint mark just below Washington's ponytail. The Ellis Island reverse design instead of the expected New Jersey State quarter design. Sharp, clear details because condition is everything in the coin world. And if you find one, well, let's just say you might want to cancel that weekend yard sale and call an auction house instead. I actually started looking through my change a few years back after hearing about rare quarters like this. I remember one time I was at a gas station and I got a handful of quarters and change. I was so excited that I stepped to the side and started checking them right there. The cashier looked at me like I was crazy, but then an older gentleman behind me said, "Son, you looking for treasure?" I nodded, and he just laughed and said, "I hope you find it, and you know what? I still haven't found that $9 million quarter yet, but I found some valuable ones along the way, and that's the thrill of coin collecting. Every time you get change, it's like a mini lottery ticket. You never know when you'll hit the jackpot, so next time you get a quarter in your change, don't just toss it in a jar. Take a closer look, because one lucky find could mean life-changing money. And if you do find that 1999 D. Ellis Island quarter, let's just say you'll be the richest person to ever buy a candy bar with a quarter. If you love discovering coins worth serious money and want more tips on hidden treasures in your pocket change, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You never know which coin could be your golden ticket.
We're diving into the 1995 P. Ellis Island Washington quarter dollar, and you won't believe its current market value, a mind-blowing $5 million. Yes, you heard that right, $5 million. So, grab your change jar because by the end of this video, you might just be a millionaire without even knowing it. Let's set the scene. It's 1995. Beanie Babies are the hottest thing. Everyone's jamming out to TLC's Waterfalls. And somewhere in the Philadelphia Mint, a few very special quarters are being struck. These aren't just any quarters. These are the 1995 P. Washington quarters with the Ellis Island design. They were meant to be ordinary, everyday coins, but thanks to a rare minting error, they became anything but. Now, what makes this coin worth $5 million? It's all about the details. Some of these quarters have a misalignment in the die, creating a double strike effect. Others have a rare off-metal composition, meaning they weren't struck on the standard copper-nickel planchet. Imagine finding one of these in your pocket. You'd think it's just another quarter to toss in a parking meter, but in reality, it's worth more than a mansion in Beverly Hills. I actually have a funny story about this. A buddy of mine, let's call him Dave, is a total skeptic when it comes to rare coins. He always says, nobody actually finds these things in real life. Well, one day he's at a flea market, flipping through a jar of old coins for fun, and what does he pull out? Yep, a 1995 P. Ellis Island quarter with a striking error. He didn't even realize it until he got home, showed it to me, and I nearly passed out. Long story short, Dave went from a flea market browser to a guy sitting on a multimillion-dollar coin in about 5 minutes. The moral of the story? Always check your change. If you're wondering how to spot one of these rare quarters, look closely at the details. Errors like doubling, off-center strikes, or even a missing clad layer can be the key to hitting the jackpot. And if you think you've got one, get it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Trust me, you don't want to be that person who sells a rare coin for 25 cents at a gas station only to find out later it was worth millions. So, here's the deal. The next time you get a quarter back in change, don't just shove it in your pocket and forget about it. Take a second, check the date, and look for those rare features. Who knows? You might be holding the key to an early retirement. And if you found this video helpful, hilarious, or at least mildly entertaining, hit that subscribe button. I'll keep bringing you more hidden treasures, more crazy coin stories, and more ways to turn pocket change into big bucks. We're talking about the 1983 P. Ellis Island, Washington quarter that could make you a millionaire. And trust me, after this video, you'll never look at your pocket change the same way again. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 1983 P. Washington quarter was part of the standard issue, but there's a rare version that collectors are absolutely losing their minds over. And no, it's not because it can predict the lottery numbers, though that would be nice. What makes this coin special is a combination of rarity, condition, and a possible minting error that turned an ordinary piece of pocket change into a multimillion-dollar treasure. So, why is this quarter worth a jaw-dropping $3 million? Here's the deal. Back in 1983, the US Mint wasn't producing official mint sets for collectors like they usually did. That means high-grade coins from this year are super hard to find. Most 1983 quarters went straight into circulation, got tossed around in vending machines, scratched up in pockets, and basically lived a rough life. Finding one in pristine condition? That's like finding a unicorn at your local grocery store. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A guy I know, we'll call him Joe, was going through his old coin jar one day. You know, the one we all have sitting on a shelf, collecting dust. He found an old quarter and thought, let's check it out. Turns out, it was a 1983 P. Washington quarter in near-perfect condition. Now, his isn't worth $3 million yet, but he got it graded and it's already worth a few thousand. That's a nice chunk of change for something most people overlook. So, if you happen to find a 1983 P quarter, what should you do? First, check the condition. If it's super shiny, no major scratches, and still has that fresh from the mint look, you might be onto something. Next, consider getting it graded by a professional coin grading service. That's the best way to know if you're sitting on a fortune or just a really nice piece of history. Alright folks, that's the story of the 1983 P. Ellis Island, Washington quarter that's worth $3 million. Who knew a little piece of change could be life-changing? So, the next time you get quarters in your change, don't just toss them in a jar. Inspect them. You never know what kind of treasure you might have. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins that could make you rich, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more hidden gem coins to talk about, and trust me, you don't want to miss them. Also, drop a comment below. What's the coolest coin you've ever found? Let's talk treasure hunting.